What's up guys, it's Austin here from Royal Highness Python, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys some het pied markers. Before we get into that, huge shout out to KR Reptiles, Belgium. Thanks for the really cool shirt all the way from Belgium. And they're definitely not slacking on the back. So if you could, please go and check them out. KR Reptiles Belgium once again. And now I'm going to go show you some het pied markers, so let's get right into it. So for those of you who don't know what a pied is, this is a pied. It has this really cool white blotches that come up and just seem to erase the pattern. This is a very high pattern one. Sometimes you can get them all white where you only have the head showing or just a few little spots in the back. This is a really cool one, has a little emoji right here, looks like a little sus face. But really cool. And if you were to breed this to a normal, you'll make babies that look like normals but carry the gene for pied and to be a het pied or heterozygous pied. And sometimes het pieds have markers, and that's what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to put this girl away and now show you some really cool het pied markers. So one of the first het pied markers I'm going to show you is on this normal girl, or what I thought was my dinker. But as you can see, she has these little horseshoe on her head and these two little dots behind it. It's kind of faded as she got older, but that is a really good sign that you have a het pied if it is normal. Sometimes it can show up in leopard, and it also shows up in leopard yellow belly. So if you have a leopard yellow belly that has that little horseshoe and it's not possible het pied, chances are that's not going to prove out het pied. But if you have a possible het pied and you see that really cool horseshoe with the two dots in the back, it's a really good chance that's het pied. And that's a little het pied marker that not a lot of people know of, but really cool. And once again, it doesn't show up on a lot of the other morphs, only on the normals and the leopards, but it is a very good indicator of a het pied. And then the second is going to be these tracks on the belly. So if you look at the belly, a normal ball python will have some speckling and checkering on the belly, but het pieds, not all of them, but some of them tend to go and just get these really nice, what people call train tracks, down both sides, and you just get a nice thick black line on either side. This girl's a little thin, she just laid. She's actually the one from my dinker clutch a couple of videos back. She's back on food and looking real nice. But when people mention pied tracks or het pied tracks, this is what they're talking about. Really cool. So now I'm going to go show you guys some other het pied markers. So here is my special 100% het pied possible het monsoon female, and she's almost ready to breed. I'm going to start pairing her soon, but not looking at the tracks on her belly because she doesn't really have any. But if you look right here, we have some little orange and yellow flecking on the belly. When she came out of the baby, it was really nice and orange, and you could even see some white spots there, more white than the belly, almost looking like a pied. That's a little ringer almost, but sometimes het pieds will have this, and it actually expresses in a lot of different genes. So really cool. A really cool visual way to go and see that your het pied or possible het pied is or could possibly prove out. Because sometimes you do get these on snakes that are not het pied, depending the morph. I know Cinnamon usually throws them. Sometimes Creed or other fire type morphs. But Cinnamon, Black Pastel, and even some other genes will get these same little stuff. But if you have a possible het pied and you see these little orange or yellow splecks, it's a very good chance that it will prove out. Here is one of my dinkers. Has a really wacky pattern, cleaner than a normal in some places and just really dark throughout. But if you notice right here, we have a really nice white ringer on her and a lot more expression than the last one I just showed you guys, and you can really see the difference of the white on the belly. Here it's more of a yellowish white, and then here it's just pure white. Like you could put a piece of paper next to it and it would look almost the same color. Ringers tend to usually throw some oranges or yellows, and this one's really cool because it comes all the way across the top. And ringers don't always mean it's het pied, but if you buy a snake that's 66% or 50% het pied and it has a ringer, chances are that it will prove out, as long as it's not champagne, black pastel, cinnamon, and sometimes even other genes can get ringers if you do the right mix or mix the right genes. But this girl, she is 50% het pied, and if we look at her belly, she does have those het pied tracks and the ringer, so I'm pretty sure she is gonna prove out. So when people are talking about the ringer, het pied ringer, that's it. Now let's move on to some other het pied markers. So right here I have a cinnamon double het for dreamsicle, so it's 100% het for lavender and also 100% het for pied. And if you notice, a normal cinnamon has circles like this throughout the whole body, but sometimes when you get het pieds, they like to really connect pattern towards the end, so we get all this really cool chaining towards the tail, and it's actually on both sides of the snake. Some of them could be a lot more dramatic and some of them are even less, but really cool. And another great het pied sign, if you have the dragging along both sides, you'll get this really nice dorsal pattern that just straight line all the way to the tip of the tail. Sometimes it can break, like right here, you have little breaks in it, but this girl has a full dorsal pattern, and I've noticed a lot of het pieds have this. But you can also get some really nice snakes that are not het pied, like the Orange Dreams, like to really connect side pattern and have very nice dorsal pattern. So it's kind of hard to say with Orange Dream het pieds, but if you do have a possible het pied that doesn't have Orange Dream and you see a lot of the pattern connecting, it's a really good chance it's going to prove out. And I'll actually pull out another snake right now that has the same dragging pattern just to show you what I'm talking about. Right here is my pastel Enchi spot nose yellow belly 100% het pied girl, and she's really nice, really bright, and usually this combo will have a lot of keyholes and alien heads, but when you add the het pied, like I was saying before, it just drags it all across and connects all that pattern like a chain. Not so much on this side, but still towards the end. And then we have this nice dorsal pattern right here, a line, and then the line continues all the way to the tip of the tail. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying the chaining or het pied, stretching the pattern across the tail. There are a lot of het pieds that don't have this, and there's even some morphs, once again the Orange Dream, that does this without het pied, and even Creed can also do this, and some other lines of fire. So if you see one like that, don't assume it's het pied unless it's possibly 50% het or 66% het. And even some het pieds will not show this at all, so it's kind of the luck of the draw. Usually look for more than one marker in a snake, and wow, she just lunged at Elias in the camera. So I'm gonna go put her back. With all that being said, if you have some of those markers on a 50 or 66% het pied, great, there's a really good chance that it's gonna prove out for you. Or if you're looking for a snake in the future and it's a 50 or 66% het pied, go and pick it up because chances are that it will prove out. But I would like to say that there are het pieds that have no markers, even though they come from a pied male or a pied female, 100% hets. So the markers are not always concrete evidence that it's going to prove out het pied, but it is a good sign, especially when you have a ringer, as long as you don't have champagne and some other genes, because they usually tend to throw their own ringers. So that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the like button, share it, or subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. So peace out.